In previous class, we are discussing about transpiration in plants, where transpiration is responsible for loss of water vapor through stomata. We discussed the structure of stomata, where stomata are two cells which are bean-shaped cells or kidney-shaped cells which are present in epidermis layer. That bean-shaped cells, they have chloroplast, but normal epidermal cells do not have chloroplast, but that two bean-shaped cells which are called as gourd cells, that gourd cells have chloroplast, chlorophyll pigments, and that gourd cells are surrounded by subsidiary cells. See here, that important property of that stomata gourd cells. Gourd cells have chloroplast. Where these gourd cells are present? They are present in epidermis layer. Normal epidermis cells do not have chloroplast, chlorophyll, but gourd cells have chloroplast and chlorophyll. That is one thing. And that gourd cells have chloroplast, chlorophyll pigment. That chlorophyll pigment is responsible for photoreceptivity. Photoreceptivity means here in presence of light, there is opening of stomata, and in presence of dark condition, where in absence of light, there is closing of stomata. I told you in previous class, in daytime, there is opening of stomata with the help of that ion, whereas in dark time, there is closing of stomata. Here in daytime, in presence of light, there is opening of stomata. So that is responsible for photoreceptivity by chloroplast and chlorophyll, which are present in that gourd cells. And gourd cells are two cells which are bean-shaped cells, right? This gourd cells, which are two cells present in stomata, forms stomatal aperture. The inner walls, gourd cell inner walls are thick actually. The inner walls of gourd cells have more thickness than outside. Okay, here inner wall, this side, there is near the stomatal aperture, gourd cells have more thickness. That is what we discussed in previous class. And types of transpiration also we saw. What are the types of transpiration? Usually stomatal transpiration, which is occurring more. Then cuticular transpiration and lenticular transpiration also we saw. Then next, factors that affect transpiration. Factors affecting transpiration. Transpiration is majorly done by what? What is responsible for transpiration? We saw here the environmental condition. Based on that environmental condition, stomata will close or open, that will cause it. Here that in long distance transport, we saw root pressure also. That root pressure is also responsible for upward taking. That upward taking is leading to loss of water through guttation. Okay, through margin of leaves, where water droplets is drawn or removed. That is what we can say guttation. Along with that root pressure guttation, there is uplifting of water, where water is well available in the leaf, so that when water is pumped to high places, there is availability of water in mesophyll cells and substomatal cavity, and that is transpired. Okay, see here, transpiration is affected by many factors, like factors which are affecting temperature is light. In presence of light and absence of light, I told you, temperature is more means transpiration is also being controlled, like increasing. And humidity in atmosphere. Humidity means availability of water content, vapor content. Wind speed, wind air speed which is blowing in atmosphere. That wind speed and number of stomata Number of stomata, how many stomata are present on leaf? Okay, and water status of the plant, water status of the plant, water status of the plant, and some more properties like distribution of stomata, distribution of stomata. These are properties which can affect the rate of transpiration. See first one by one. Suppose if we take temperature, what is the role of temperature in transpiration? Temperature is responsible for converting water from liquid to vapor form. Temperature is responsible for converting water into vapor form. Rise in temperature increases rate of transpiration. Increase in temperature causes increase in transpiration rate. If temperature is increasing, then water will be converted into vapor form and there is more rate of transpiration. Whereas fall in temperature, if temperature is less, that decreases transpiration rate. Transpiration rate is increased by rise in temperature, whereas the transpiration rate is decreased by fall in the temperature. Okay, why? Because the temperature is converting water into vapor form. That is important. So it converts water into vapor. And one more thing, temperature causes opening of stomata. More stomata more temperature is there. Means when temperature is high, then stomata will be opened effectively. Stomata will be opened at high temperature. So when temperature is more, then there is opening of stomata and converting water into vapor, so that rate of transpiration will increase. Next factor, light. In previous class we discussed about the effect of light. What happens in presence of light? Here light is causing opening and closing of stomata. Here light affects transpiration rate in two ways. Okay, here light it affects stomatal opening in two ways. First, what happens in presence of light means it controls, transpiration is there now. The transpiration is controlled in two ways. What I am saying, one is it controls opening and affects leaf temperature. Light controls, you write here, it affects transpiration in two ways. Then one is this one, next one we will see. It controls stomatal opening and leaf temperature also. Leaf temperature is also affected by the light. How light is affecting leaf temperature means, if light is falling down, when more light is there, what happens? Rate of photosynthesis will be more. So metabolic activities will be more. In that metabolic activities, there is chemical reactions are taking place. In that energy is being released. In metabolism, heat will be released. Respiration is taking place. So that energy is released. Thermal energy may be released in metabolism, so that least temperature is also controlled. That is one thing. It controls the stomatal opening. Okay. And here, especially if we take a particular light called as blue light affects stomatal opening more. In presence of blue light, stomatal opening is more. That means transpiration is also more in blue light. Transpiration is high. High rate of transpiration is seen in presence of blue light. Why? Because if you take blue intensity of light has one wavelength. In that wavelength, blue intensity of light can increase the rate of permeability of K+ ion. I told you in previous class what happens. Organic acid, suppose malic acid is there, that malic acid is converted into anionic form. I told you malate ion, K+ ion, Cl- ion. Starch is the first breaking down into organic acids. I told you that organic acids are converted into ionic form like malate ion. That malate ion, K+ ion, Cl- ion concentration will increase inside the God cell, so that water potential decreases. Water will move from outside to inside, so God cells will swell by taking water. That is what I told you. See here, this malate ion, K+ ion, Cl- ion. So the blue light will increase the permeability of K+ ion. In presence of blue light, more K+ ions will enter stomata. K+ ions are more entering the stomata in presence of blue light. When K+ ions are entering the stomata, God cells, what happens? God cell solute potential will increase, so that it will take up more water, causing stomata to open. That is one thing. Okay, blue light affects stomatal opening more. That means in presence of blue light, there is high rate of transpiration. Next, atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Here transpiration is inversely proportional to pressure. Inversely proportional to pressure. You know already, pressure potential of water we discussed. Pressure potential. So the pressure is exerting. When pressure is exerting from high pressure to low pressure, there is movement of water, you know. Water potential, pressure potential. Water potential is equal to solute potential plus pressure potential. So water, when it is causing diffusion, it creates some pressure. That is what we can say pressure potential. Based on that pressure potential, there is movement of water from high potential of pressure to low potential of pressure. See here, transpiration is inversely proportional. That means if more atmospheric pressure is there, if atmosphere in environment more pressure is there, then rate of transpiration is low or less. Rate of transpiration is less in presence of more atmospheric pressure. In atmosphere, that means outside the God cell more pressure. More pressure means inside the God cells there is less pressure. So from more pressure to low pressure only there is moving. So that from low pressure to high pressure there is no movement of water or anything, so that there is decrease. Then light, temperature, this one. Next, humidity. Humidity. What is humidity? The water vapor or water content in atmosphere is called as humidity. Humidity. Here at high humidity, if humidity is more, if atmosphere or environment has more humidity, rate of transpiration will decrease. What transpiration is less when more water content is present in atmosphere. In environment, if there is more water content or humidity, then the rate of transpiration will be decreased. And at lower humidity, the rate of transpiration is more. Rate of transpiration increases when humidity is less, whereas the rate of transpiration decreases when humidity is more. That is one thing. Okay. Then what? Wind velocity, wind speed. Fifth one, wind velocity. Leaves. Here when wind is blowing, when air is moving on the surface of leaf, that wind is blowing now. That wind increases transpiration by removing the water vapor which is present on leaf surface. Wind increases transpiration. How? By transpiration what happens? On transpiration there is a loss of water vapor from the stomata. That lost water vapor will be settling on surface of lamina and the lamina gets cooled. But when wind is blowing, what will happen? The water vapor which is present on leaf surface will be removed. So increases the transpiration rate by removing water on leaf surface. On leaf surface, lamina surface, whatever the water present, that is removed by the wind. So as wind removes the water, what will happen? The lamina gets dry. As lamina gets dry, rate of transpiration will increase. Complete? Write down this, then we'll see remaining factors. Number of stomata and the distribution of stomata. So availability of water in the soil, that we'll see. Yeah, complete. Done. Very good. Next factor that can control rate of transpiration. If you see availability of water in soil, how it decreases, how it controls transpiration rate. If soil has more water, soil water availability is the next factor. I think sixth one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sixth factor, I think so. Soil water availability. Here, soil with deficient water. If water is not plenty available, so soil with water deficient means then the rate of transpiration will be how? The rate of transpiration is more or less in a plant which is growing on soil which is deficient of water. Yeah, soil deficient of water, then transpiration is low. Where the availability of water in the soil controls the rate of transpiration. If more water is available in the soil means then the rate of transpiration will be more. Okay. Here why? Rate rate of absorption of water by the root is less. If soil has less water, when a soil has less water, then absorption of water into the soil by the roots is less. So that will be decreasing. Transpiration will be decreasing. That is one thing. Next, stomata frequency. Stomata frequency, that means the stomata number. Stomata frequency means number of stomata in an area of leaf. If you take a leaf surface, in that leaf surface, this is a leaf. On leaf surface, in one particular area, suppose it is 1 centimeter square or 1 inch square, in that particular area, number of stomata present is called stomatal frequency. Number of stomata present per unit of area on leaf surface. Okay, this is what different from plant to plant. Stomatal frequency is different from plant to plant. Some plants have more stomata within small area, whereas some plants have less stomata within that area. So here, rate of transpiration. How? If stomatal frequency is more, means rate of transpiration will be more. Okay. Rate of transpiration is based on this. It is directly proportional to stomata frequency. More stomata are there, means more rate of transpiration. That is one thing. Okay, that is what stomatal distribution, stomatal number. That is one thing. And one more thing. Next, structure. Structure of leaf. In previous class, we told you cutinized. Cutinized. Cutin is a water repellent waxy layer, I told you. That cutinized means wax. Cutinized leaves. Cutinized leaves show low rate of transpiration. Transpiration rate is less when leaf surface has cutinized wax tissue. It is not tissue. A waxy layer is present on surface of leaf, which is called as cutinized leaf. Cutin is a waxy water repellent layer. If that waxy water repellent layer is present on surface of leaf, then in that leaf rate of respiration or transpiration will be decreasing. Then next one, root shoot ratio. Root shoot ratio. What is root shoot ratio means? In one particular plant, what is the total root, surface area of root to shoot? Surface area of root to surface area of shoot is called root shoot ratio. That means if you take a plant, in that plant some roots are there now. What is the main roots, secondary roots, lateral roots, primary root or tertiary root, secondary root, rootlets, and this is a stem which may have branches or leaves, something. If we take this plant like this, what is the shoot ratio? Surface of leaves and everything, that is shoot surface, total surface of shoot and total surface of roots. That is what we can say root shoot ratio. If root shoot ratio is more root shoot ratio means then transpiration rate will be high. Why? Root shoot ratio is more means, that means the plant has more roots than leaves. When roots are more than leaves, absorption of water by shoot is less. That means absorption of water by roots is more. And shoot is less means rate of photosynthesis is less. That means they are absorbing more water and use of water in photosynthesis is less. So that there is more. If less root shoot ratio means, I mean less root shoot ratio, this is ratio. Lesser root shoot ratio has lesser rate of transpiration. Okay, these are some factors which can control that rate of transpiration. Rate of transpiration is under control of this. These factors control the rate of transpiration. And there are some materials or substances which can inhibit the rate of transpiration. They are called anti-transpirants. Anti-transpirants. What are anti-transpirants means? The substances are inhibitors which reduce the rate of transpiration. These can reduce the rate of transpiration. So, rate of transpiration is reduced by some substances which are called as anti-transpirants. These anti-transpirants are useful. Why? Because suppose when we are growing a plant where water is less available, in soil there is less availability of water, we don't have plenty of water. But a plant has more shoots, leaves, branches, everything is more, but water is less available. So what we can do, if we provide this anti-transpirant to the plant, then the rate of transpiration will be decreased. Rate of transpiration is decreased means then there is no loss of water through transpiration. So the available water we can manage for the plant growth and photosynthesis. These are applied to plants to reduce the rate of transpiration without affecting photosynthesis, growth or other processes. Reduce the rate of transpiration without affecting other processes like photosynthesis. Rate of photosynthesis will not be affected by this. So they are helpful. Growth of the plant will not be affected, and other processes like respiration or any other thing like flowering, reproduction, remaining processes are not affected. Only transpiration process is lowered or reduced. Okay, they are called as anti-transpirant. These anti-transpirants are two types. First one is here, the transpirants which are produced in metabolism, they are called as metabolic anti-transpirants. Metabolic anti-transpirants or metabolic inhibitors. Metabolic inhibitor. The anti-transpirants, if they are produced in metabolism, then it is called as what? Metabolic inhibitor. Best example, PMA. PMA stands for phenyl mercuric acetate. Phenyl mercuric acetate is one of the best metabolic inhibitor. Phenyl mercuric acetate and plant growth regulator, ABA. ABA stands for abscisic acid. Abscisic acid. ABSCISIC. ABSCISIC. Abscisic acid and phenyl mercuric acetate, they are produced in metabolism. They can prevent the rate of transpiration. Okay, that phenyl mercuric acetate and abscisic acid are major metabolic antitranspirants. Even some other compounds like carbon dioxide and some anti-analgesic, aspirin, yes, CO2 and aspirin, they also reduce. Aspirin and CO2, they reduce stomatal opening. Stomatal opening is stopped by aspirin. Aspirin, in chemistry you might see, aspirin is analgesic tablet, which reduces the pain, which decreases the pain. That is called aspirin. That aspirin, aspirin means acetyl salicylic acid. This is phenyl mercuric acetate, right? This is acetyl salicylic acid. That acetyl salicylic acid, which is aspirin, and CO2, they are reducing stomatal opening so that they can stop respiration. Then second type, surface films, leaf surface, that surface films. What are that surface films means? Surface, on leaf surface, if any film-like structure is placed, then that can reduce the rate of transpiration. Just now we saw wax. Okay, wax means that is not visible. Now, see now. Second one, surface films. Surface films means here, if any substance is placed on surface of the leaf, they will form a water repellent layer. A water repellent layer, if it is formed on leaf surface, then it can reduce the rate of transpiration. Just now I told you, like wax. Waxes, these waxes which have less viscosity, low viscosity waxes. Waxes can reduce the rate of transpiration. Silicone emulsion, I told you in lipids, I think. Lipids, when they are amphipathic in nature, when they are combined with water, they form emulsions, liposomes, micelles. So that is silicone emulsion. And colorless plastics. Plastics are not allowing water. They are impermeable to water. Why colorless plastics? If plastic is colored, then light is not available to the leaf for photosynthesis. So colorless plastic is kept means then the sunlight will be available to the plant, no problem, and that can reduce the rate of transpiration also. Low viscosity waxes, silicone emulsions and colorless plastics, if they are placed on leaf surface, then they will reduce the rate of transpiration. So surface films like low viscosity waxes, silicone emulsion, colorless plastics, and metabolic inhibitors like phenyl mercuric acetate, abscisic acid, aspirin and CO2. These are the substances which can decrease or reduce the rate of transpiration. As they can reduce the rate of transpiration, we can use that materials as anti-transpirants so that they can be provided to the plants which are growing on water deficient soil, so that rate of transpiration will be reduced without affecting photosynthesis or growth or fruiting, flowering, reproduction processes. So these are anti-transparent. Okay, note down this. Complete? Yeah, thank you. Next, transpiration and photosynthesis, how they are interlinked. Transpiration and photosynthesis. Because if you see the relation of water, photosynthesis and transpiration, they are interconnected each other. How transpiration is helping for photosynthesis and it has advantage, it has a disadvantage also. Transpiration and photosynthesis are two metabolic processes, they are interconnected. If you see the effect of transpiration and photosynthesis, transpiration has an advantage and a disadvantage also on photosynthesis. How transpiration is helpful for photosynthesis? How? Yeah, not transpiration actually, not transpiration actually. Transpiration is causing, water movement is causing stomatal opening. That stomatal opening is responsible for exchange of gases. Okay, stomata opens due to transpiration. Due to transpiration, there is opening of stomata so that oxygen will be left out from the leaf, oxygen is leaving from the leaf, and CO2 is taking gaseous exchange. That is one advantage. Disadvantage is here, as photosynthesis is needing water, photosynthesis requires water, but transpiration decreases the availability of water in the plant. See here, transpiration has more purposes. Transpiration has more purposes. Why transpiration is taking place? So that more purposes of transpiration. Why transpiration is taking place? One thing, it creates transpiration pull for the uptake of water. It creates transpiration pull. That is one direct advantage. It creates a transpiration pull. That means here, for absorption of water into the roots and for transport. For water transport. For water transport, there is a positive pressure in root, which is a root pressure. That root pressure can push up over small distances. But transport of water over long distances is not facilitated by root pressure. So that transport of water over long distances is facilitated by transpiration pull. That is one thing. So it supplies what? Transpiration supplies water for photosynthesis. Because photosynthesis is taking place in leaf, in that leaf water is not available, So when transpiration is taking place, it develops a transpiration pull. With the help of the transpiration pull, water is carried from roots to the leaves. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, and along with that water, there is transport of minerals from soil to plant pots. From soil to plant pots, different parts of the plant, there is a transport of minerals which are dissolved in water. Water dissolved minerals which are taken by the roots, they will be transported. They will be transported to the all or entire parts of the plant with the help of this water movement, which is facilitated by transpiration pull. Okay, that is one thing. And it cools leaf surface. Leaf surface is cooling down. Leaf surface is cooling down. Okay. How? By water evaporation. When water is evaporating on surface of leaf, the surface of leaf which is hot, that will get cooled with the help of the evaporated water which is present on leaf surface. Okay, and it transports water. As it transports water, that causes, as water is transported to all parts, I told you, that causes cells become turgid. All cells of plant will become turgid. As cells become turgid, they maintain shape of parts of the plant. Plant pots are maintained a particular shape with the help of cell turgidity. That cell turgidity is developed due to transport of water by the transpiration pull. Okay. Here, suppose if a plant is photosynthesis, if plant is carrying photosynthesis, that has indefinite need of water. A plant carrying photosynthesis, if we take the plant which is carrying photosynthesis, that needs, which is the need of water which is not fulfilled by any other. So it has insatiable need of water. Insatiable need of water means water is needed, that need of water cannot be replaced by any other. Insatiable need of water. And the rate of photosynthesis is limited by water available. If more water is available, then only photosynthesis takes place. If water is not available, then photosynthesis rate will also be decreasing down. Okay, that is one thing which is related. So that rate of photosynthesis is limited by water available means, that means photosynthesis depends on transpiration. So because that availability of water in leaves is maintained by transpiration only, so it depends on transpiration, rate of transpiration. Okay, and if you see that plant, normally the plants which are plants are divided into two types, you know, C3 plants, C4 plants. Here C4 plants are there. Here C4 plants are modified to C3 plants, you know. So evolution of C4 plants to C3 plants. What is the difference between C4 plants and C3 plants? Carbon dioxide is taken by plants. Upon taking the carbon dioxide, if carbon dioxide is formed into a C4 compound, 4 carbon containing compound is made first, means then it is C4 plant. And C3 plant means which forming this one. Here C3 plants can fix more CO2. So the evolution of C4 plants to C3 plants is to increase CO2 availability, carbon dioxide availability for photosynthesis, and minimize water loss. I told you, in grasses due to root pressure, there is a loss of water through margin of the leaves, which is called as guttation process. See here, C4 plants are majorly grasses which are losing water through guttation, but C3 plants have lesser rate of guttation. Okay, here this fixation of carbon dioxide is there now. That is what evolution of C4 plants. Yeah. Evolution of C4 plants to C3, va? No. I wrote from C3. C3 plants are evolved into C4 plants. When C3 plants are evolved to C4, wait one thing, which one has more efficiency? C3 plants or C4 plants? Probably fixing carbon dioxide, making sugars. In C3 plants, there is a formation of glyceroldehyde and rubisco-glyceroldehyde, okay. 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid, glyceroldehyde, okay. Then this one, C4 plants, phosphoenol pyruvate is converting to acids, amino acids. Yeah, C4 plants have more CO2 efficiency. C3, C4. What is the C3 means? In photosynthesis, CO2 is taken. When CO2 is taken in metabolic processes, in that after taking CO2, if 3 carbon containing molecule is the first product, C3 compound, C3, 3 carbon containing molecule is the first product upon taking CO2, then it is C3 plant. Okay, if 4 carbon containing molecule is formed upon taking CO2 first, then it is C4. C4 plants have more CO2 uptake ability. More CO2 uptake ability. Here, C4 plants have less water losing ability and they have less water loss. Here, as water loss is less, rate of transpiration is less in C4 plants when compared to, wait one second, I got one more doubt. C4 plant loses only C4 plants water loss. This is not this point. Next I will explain. See here now. C4 plants uptake more carbon dioxide. See here, what is the difference between C4 and C3 plants means? C3 plants and C4 plants they fix less CO2 for a water loss in transpiration. For one particular amount of water loss in transpiration, they will fix less amount of CO2. That means some amount of CO2 is fixed. Whereas if we see C4 plants, they fix more CO2 for a water loss in transpiration. Yeah, now you can compare very well. Yeah, this point will give better explanation. What is this point is, photosynthesis and transpiration are related, right? CO2 is fixed more means, CO2 is fixed more means rate of photosynthesis is more. CO2 is fixed less means rate of photosynthesis is less. Suppose some amount of water is lost through transpiration. Some amount of loss. Or 1 liter of water is lost in transpiration. Transpiration water in C3 plant, less amount of CO2 is fixed. Suppose for 1 liter loss of transpiration, there is fixation of CO2 and there is 1 gram of sugar formed in photosynthesis. Rate of CO2 fixation means rate of photosynthesis and sugar formed. For same 1 liter of water loss in transpiration, C4 plants can fix more CO2. Suppose 2 grams of sugar is produced. For one particular volume of water lost in transpiration, C3 plant carries less rate of photosynthesis and they will prepare less food by photosynthesis for particular amount of water lost in transpiration. But in C4 plants, there is high rate of photosynthesis and more CO2 is fixed. Okay, so this rate of photosynthesis is depending on transpiration. See here, this photosynthesis is affected by this. So transpiration has advantages and disadvantages also. What are advantages? These are advantages. Creates transpiration pull for transport. Water which is required for photosynthesis is provided by the transpiration. Transport of minerals. Cooling of leaf surface, maintaining shape of the plant pots, and disadvantage is loss of water is decreasing the rate of photosynthesis. That is one thing. Loss of water is decreasing the rate of transpiration. Loss of water in transpiration decreases the rate of photosynthesis. So transpiration has both advantages and disadvantages. Both advantages or disadvantages are present in transpiration here, but plants cannot check transpiration. Plants cannot check transpiration. That means whether transpiration has to be carried or has to be stopped. That is not decided by a plant. A plant cannot decide whether to stop transpiration or carry the transpiration. Okay. Here, cuticular transpiration is always. Cuticular transpiration is taking place always. Cuticular transpiration, I told you in previous class, that is taking place always, every time. But stomatal transpiration is taking place stomatal transpiration taking place when stomata opens for gaseous exchange. Stomata is originally opening for exchange of gases and CO2 and O2. Exchange of gases and gases like CO2 and O2, that is responsible for stomatal opening. For photosynthesis, there is a need of exchange of O2 and CO2. That is major thing. Okay. Here, the transpiration which is taking place through stomata is taking place whenever there is gaseous exchange taking place. That means whenever there is a stomatal opening for exchange of CO2 and O2, then there is a loss of water vapor. That we cannot avoid. This one, cuticular transpiration is taking everywhere, I mean every time. Every time means whenever there is, I mean it is taking place always, but based on the water content, temperature, light, atmosphere, soil water content, root shoot ratio, everything. Even that cuticle frequency, number of cuticles, all that factors can control this. But stomatal transpiration is, I mean, plant cannot divide when water to be transpired. Whenever stomata is opening for intake of CO2 and release of O2, then there is a lot of water by transpiration. So we can say cutin is present means then there is lesser rate of transpiration. So this cutin is said to be necessary one, necessary evil. It is showing evil functions, like it is losing water. It is evil. Evil means which is doing bad here, because cuticle is present means the leaf surface is covered, but even it is covered, there is a benefit. Cutin is a waxy water repellent layer. When cutin is present, what will happen? When cutin is present, gaseous exchange will slow down. Yes or no? Cutin is present means gaseous exchange will also slow down, but it is necessary to prevent the transpiration. But here, stomata, what stomatal movement is there now? This what stomatal event is unavoidable. Stomatal event is, I mean, stomatal transpiration is unavoidable. Cutin is called what? Necessary evil, which is helpful. But transpiration, stomatal transpiration is unavoidable. We cannot avoid, because if we avoid stomatal transpiration, then there is no exchange of gases. Okay? It is unavoidable. Unavoidable evil. This is called by a scientist called Curtis. Curtis called stomata as unavoidable evil. Stewart, Curtis, yeah, two scientists named that. Curtis called that necessary. Stewart called that as unavoidable evil. So, transpiration is having a benefit. Transpiration has a benefit. So, whenever transpiration is there, all these properties are taking place. It has a disadvantage because it is decreasing water. It is decreasing water loss. I mean decreasing water availability to photosynthesis. Disadvantage is transpiration, decreasing water availability to photosynthesis. All these are advantages. So stomatal opening, stomatal transpiration has an advantage and disadvantage. Stomatal opening causes transpiration, decreases water level by transpiration. It has advantage of gaseous exchange. Whenever stomata opens for gaseous exchange, there is a transpiration taking place. So we cannot avoid this. If we avoid this, if we avoid stomatal opening, then we cannot get CO2 and O2. So that is unavoidable. Okay? Right. Sir, abscisic acid. Yeah, what is your doubt? What is the name of second steward? STEWARD. As water water loss occurs due to transpiration, then the cell loses water and becomes plasmolized. Then how it is turgid? How it is turgid means transpiration full is there now. Water is lost through substomatal cavity. That is the transpiration. In transpiration, water is not directly lost through the cell. I will show you how. That's why if I complete anatomy at the beginning, then it may be easy. But anatomy is somewhat difficult. If I start anatomy, you will feel sore like that. See here, this is what epidermal layers. Here, stomata is present here, assume. Two guard cells which are surrounded by subciliary cells and everything. Here, if you see this, dicotyledon has one parenchyma with parallelly arranged cells. Dorsiventral leaf, I told you. This is palisade parenchyma, this is spongy parenchyma. Here, water is lost through substomatal cavity. I told you what happens. There is xylem phloem stands here. From this xylem stands, there is entry of water into this endodermis or everything where pericycle something is present. Then here it is entering. Then it is entering one cell to another cell and intracellular cavities. Finally, water is entering substomatal cavity. Substomatal cavity means wherever stomata is present like this formed of two guard cells, here there is some cavity like structure. A chamber is present below epidermis where palisade parenchyma intercellular spaces are more. That is what we can say substomatal cavity. From that substomatal cavity, transpiration is taking place. Okay? So due to that, there is loss of water in substomatal cavity, so it will take water from adjacent cell. So water is taken here means definitely it will take water available. When water is lost through transpiration, it is not becoming plasmolized because adjacent cell has water. It will take up water from adjacent cell. It is undergoing turgid always. Understand? Yeah. Lohi, thinning. Understand? Any more doubts? ABA cannot stop. ABA cannot stop stomatal opening. Yeah, stomatal opening is stopped by ABA. Abscisic acid prevents all the processes. All metabolic activities are stopped by abscisic acid. Okay? WPT portion, today class, next day class also, this week class. Yesterday's class I already told you now, from transpiration to end of the lesson. I already told you in previous class. You wrote up to root pressure, I think. Apoplast, symplast pathways. Up to that you wrote. Okay. From next topic until the end of the lesson is WBT portion. I announced already in previous class. Transpiration pull also, whether cutin or stomata, which is called unavoidable. This one, stomata is unavoidable evil. Transpiration also necessary, cuticular transpiration also necessary. Both are necessary only. But stomatal transpiration is a necessary evil because there is a need of gaseous exchange. Necessary. Gaseous exchange, so it is necessary. But evil, because whenever there is a need, there is a loss of water. Whenever there is a need of opening stomata for exchange of gases, that need is helpful, advantage. Opening of stomata has advantage which is necessary. But whenever opening for gases exchange, there is a loss of water, disadvantage. Advantage and disadvantages both are taking place by transpiration in stomata. So it is a necessary evil but unavoidable evil. Yeah. Thank you. We will meet again in next class. Friday. Friday or Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Thank you. Bye. Sumedha will upload. Yeah. Sumedha doing her work very effectively. Very good, Sumedha.